Hello everyone! Welcome to 3 years later when I've decided to finally upload another tutorial to Little Sound Disc Jockey Guides here on YouTube. What you heard in the beginning was an example song of the chorus effect and the echo effect. Two really nice, easy tracker tricks that you can use in LSDJ to give your songs a little more depth. However, a little word of warning here in the beginning, both of these effects do take up a lot of real estate. Your echo effect will take up a lot of real estate in a single channel, depending on how many notes you are actually echoing, and your chorus effect will take up space in both of your pulse channels. So use at your own risk, but they will definitely add a lot of depth to your songs, depending, on how you use them. So let's just get into it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to set up our chains and phrases. Now, I already have them pre-set up here, just to shorten the length of this video. But if you're following along, go ahead and set up your chain and pulse 1. Set it up with 8 phrases, whatever numbers you'd like. You know what? If this is your first time, just put it as I have here, even though I've already broken it up here. This was just for my original song, but this is just set up for the tutorial. So yeah, so you're gonna go 40, 41, 42, 42, 42. Okay, now we're going to add our notes. And we're just going to use the melody that I already have written. So, you know what, let's set up your instrument first. Yeah, I just used, there's nothing particularly special about this right now. It's just your pulse at 25%. So leave it like that. Okay, let's set your notes up. A4. A4, B5, C6, and that just repeats again. Alright, now let's go to 41. F4, F4, G5, A5. Alright, and then that repeats again. And your last phrase, D4, D4, E5, and F5. That's easy enough. And then again, it just repeats. A nice, simple melody. Now, you're going to do this. You're going to add a chain to your pulse 2 channel. And this is really easy. Just add the same phrases to it. And I will tell you why in a minute. So, for the chorus effect to be achieved, both of these channels need to be played simultaneously. So here's what they sound like together without the chorus effect added yet. Okay, so that's a little flat and it just sounds the same. So when do we add the chorus effect? Well, we're going to add it right now. So just go to any of your phrases right now. Go into your instrument, and you're going to go down, 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 down to PU fine, and you're going to fine tune your pulse 1. And this is how you're going to achieve your chorus effect. So what this does, tune your pulse channel. I believe it's just, I think it only goes up. Yeah, you can detune it or fine tune it to however many semitones you want. I guess being up to 16. But the range you really want to keep is between 0 and 7, and I'd say 7 is maybe a little too much. Maybe 5 is probably the max. I like to keep right in the middle and 3. So that was easy enough. So now what is it going to sound like? Well, let's find out. Well, that changed a lot. So what's actually happening is you have your two notes playing simultaneously, but one of them is just slightly out of tune, and that will give you your chorusing effect. And that's it. It's that simple. This won't, if you're going to try and deviate and change your notes in another channel, unfortunately that doesn't work. The two notes have to be playing simultaneously next to one another for you to get this effect. So you will have to keep the same notes for each one if you want it to sound like that. Let's just experiment a little bit. So I'll show you what, let's see what 5 sounds like. Yeah, see, this is 7, and this is maybe a little too extreme. Okay, that was your chorusing effect. Pretty easy, right? Now let's go on to our echo effect. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I've added 2 different chains and phrases and removed my chorusing effect from my original instrument. But if you're following along at home, you don't necessarily have to do that because the 60 and 70 chains just contain the same notes as 40 and 50. So, okay, so let's get into it. Our echo effect. So you see it's the same notes, but in the command column I've added envelopes in the empty spaces. And I've set it at a low envelope to 26. You can change this to your liking, however keep it low. And we're going to use these to achieve our echo effect. Now if you play it, there's no echo effect yet. That's because we have to add notes in our empty spaces. So what we're going to do, the notes we're going to add, we're just going to add the 4 notes in our melody. And it's going to be done the same thing down here, since they're just the same 4 notes up here as well. So you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I should start with A4, and then A4 will echo A4. Well, that's not what you want to do. And the reason for that is because you want to add a little bit of a delay. So if we're going in the order of our notes, you want to start with your last note first, because when you go through the notes, it's going to loop back around. So you'll have C6 here, and then you're going to start in your order. So A4, A4, and B5. See? So you've added, your notes are just a little bit delayed and giving you a much better echoey effect. You could do it the other way, but it doesn't sound as good. So let's go ahead and copy these and paste. And let's make sure we have our instruments in here. And let's just give it a quick listen. Sounds great. And you're going to go down and you're going to do the same thing in your other phrases. So F4, F4, G5, A5. So start at A5, F4, F4, G5. Do the same thing and do the same thing again in your last phrase. Okay? So just quickly, I'm going to play these 2 chains just so you can hear how they sound. It's not going to sound much different without the chorus. Okay, now since I've removed mine, I'm just going to quickly add it. There we go. Now we're chorusing. Pretty cool. If you noticed that the melody that I played in the beginning actually sounded a little bit different from what I've shown you. And then as an added bonus, I'll just show you the table that I made to achieve that effect. So let's start there. Alright, so let's check out the table I made. It's fairly simple. I'm just going to go into my original chains and phrases here and go down and check it out. Actually, I think I edited it prior to the beginning of the video. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I love to abuse vibrato, so I put it at a pretty high number. If you're going to use it too, I'd say don't go above F5. And then I've just it starts at a 25% duty cycle and then switches to a 50%. And I just added a 1 in the transpose column just to as soon as it hits the first tick of the note, it just sounds slightly out of tune. It's kind of, in this example, it doesn't sound as good, but in other songs, when you're not doing this effect, you can kind of notice it, and it gives, kind of humanizes your songs maybe a little bit. It's just so your notes don't sound so flat. So let's go ahead and listen to what it sounds like. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on shit tuning.